Guys, I haven't made a video review for a movie recently. I think my last one was The Human Centipede 2. I just fancied doing another review. I've got the time, I might as well do one. Today I'm going to be reviewing Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. This was one of the first horror films I actually ever saw. I only really started discovering horror films recently. I mean, I'd never really watched any until I was about 15. So like this was one of the first ones I've watched, and I absolutely loved it. It's a tale about a family that heads to an isolated hotel for winter, where an evil and spiritual presence influences the father into violence, and his psychic son sees horrific footage and forebodings from the past and the future. This film is made by Stanley Kubrick, one of my favourite directors. To be fair, I've only seen a couple of his films. I've seen The Clockwork Orange, which I absolutely loved, and I've seen 2001: A Space Odyssey, which I also own on DVD, which is a bit strange. It's a bit slow, but it's quite good again. It's a cinematic masterpiece. This film has some fantastic acting in it, as well as some absolutely horrendous acting in it. Of course, everybody knows Jack Nicholson's in this movie, and Jack Nicholson is one of my favourite actors. He's absolutely brilliant at playing crazy people. As soon as he's on the screen, he's got a sense of like an eerie and crazy mental vibe to every action he does. And I think that in one shot of the film just sums up his absolutely crazy aspect of his acting. It's towards the end of the film when he is in it comes towards the end of the film in possibly the most recognisable part of the film. I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a scene where he walks away and the camera's in the corner of a room as he walks through a doorway, and he like stares at the camera as he's walking through. And I only noticed that on this view. This time I viewed it, and I've seen it about 10 times. So I really had not seen that before, and it just like blew my mind, and it fits his character in this film so well. The film itself is the story itself is based on a book by Stephen King. Now, Stephen King did make a film. I think it was after this film was made, to say Stanley Kubrick did it wrong, this isn't what I wanted this to be, I'm going to make a film, this is what it's meant to be like. And his film got absolutely slated, and I think afterwards he did actually apologise and say that this was the definite version of his story within the movie. This film is the very definition of a horror film. It has jump scares, it has incredibly creepy, tense moments, it has brilliant casting, except for, I think, I forgot her name, what's her name, Shelley Duvall, who plays Wendy in the film, Jack Torrance's wife. Jack Nicholson plays Jack Torrance. Wendy is absolutely horrendously acted. I don't know if that's what Kubrick wanted her to act like. I thought it was absolutely horrible. She's just whining and moaning, she's just a sleazeball. I didn't want to see her in the film. There are some scenes with her in it. Actually, one of my favourite scenes of the actual film are towards the end, when she starts seeing these horrific visions of what the hotel's showing to her. They are possibly the most creepy things I've ever seen, and they are slotted together with the music so perfectly that you are so like terrified at these really not very scary images. Also, her son Danny has this ability called Shining. He can communicate with other people who have the Shining or can shine. This is explained rather briefly at the start of the film by the cook of the Overlook Hotel, which is where they're occupying for the whole winter. Apparently it's from October to May or something, so it's really long winter months in, I think it's Canada. That the shining aspect of the film is discussed there with the cook on the Overlook, who has the ability to shine, and Danny. They're sitting alone and they kind of speak to each other through the shining. Like, it's kind of like mind talking. As the film develops, you focus on two characters mainly. You focus on Jack Nicholson's character, Jack Torrance, and you focus on Danny, the little boy who is a bit crazy. You see how they develop throughout the film. Jack is, at the start of the film, is a nice guy. He looks crazy, but he's a nice guy. He cares for his family and wants to do this job to get the income, and he's a writer and he wants to write a book there. And he's got all of the want to do all these things, and he's a really good man. And as the film develops, he becomes crazy, and the music changes dramatically. Also, Danny, possibly another iconic scene from this film is when Danny's riding down the hallway on his little tricycle, and every hallway in this hotel is so unbelievably garish with colour and patterns, and disgustingly, it's just creepy in itself. It has a horrible vibe to the whole place. I think, if I remember correctly, I think I saw a documentary on this film, and it said that this hotel did exist, and the different shots within the film weren't actually a set, it was actually in a hotel. And that was quite shocking because of the garishness, and it's got Stanley Kubrick written all over it. There's even like the carpets, there's even like phallic symbols within the carpets. We've seen with one of Kubrick's little things as a director. He likes to put in little phallic references, such as the big model penis in A Clockwork Orange. You also get told throughout at the start of the film that there was a previous person that watched over the hotel during winter, and he went crazy and he killed his wife and his two daughters with an axe, and they come up in the middle of the film randomly as Danny encounters them. I think everything in this film has purpose. Every little thing that you see throughout the film leads back towards the end of it. You know, it's got like Danny being hurt and his father being an alcoholic, and these references are made to the book. I have read the book, and I'd say that it isn't exactly word for word what the book's saying, but a lot of the things which are in the book, which are interesting, have fitted into this film so well that you hardly notice them. You do notice them, but they're just implemented so the story makes sense without it feeling like they're just there because they're in the book. I absolutely love this film, one of the first horror films I've ever seen, like I said. It's an incredibly entertaining film. I'd highly recommend you go and watch this, or leave by it if you haven't. Obviously, a lot of people will have seen it, and they probably do agree with my views, because it is such a great film. IMDb gave it a 8.5 out of 10. My score for this film would be a 9.5 out of 10. The first time I watched it, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's incredibly intense, incredibly creepy. The music is absolutely brilliant, and the chase scene at the end is so intense. It's like you can feel your heart beat, and you're really, really scared for the characters involved in it. This has been my review for Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. I hope you enjoyed it. Go watch this. There will be more reviews in the future. Thank you. Bye.
Mom?
Yeah?
Do you really want to go and live in that hotel for the winter?
Sure I do. It'll be lots of fun.
Yeah, I guess so.
For some people, solitude and isolation can of itself become a problem.